So, what do you think about that? Hey everyone. Hey Albert. Yeah, you finally made it to a single stream. So today it's fairly simple. I thought I might just, answer some questions if anybody has some, just as the title says. Why I'll play some games. I think for now World of Warcraft because, the new expansion is out and it's quite fun. And I can actually play it and just, not be super extra focused on it. I do think that I do need to change one thing. The game for me myself is a bit too loud. It's a bit too loud in my earphones. Should I look into 10-kilometer fiber SFP or not? You can do it 2 times. One with one eye and then second time with the other. Interface, social, audio, yes. Okay, the master is pretty low, but we can make it even lower. I've like we chatted in the Discord. I've always thought that looking at it through telephone camera, right, is fairly, let's say, not hazardous. But it turns out that if your signal is strong enough, then even that may basically damage your camera lenses or the matrix that's capturing the image. Jesus, it's still so loud. Options, effects. We can leave the dialogue because I actually enjoy the WoW lore. Aside from that, is just my master. Let me go like this. And then go a little bit down. Yeah, we always have blind spots for our cameras. Yeah. But sometimes I just do it because I cannot be bothered to actually make sure if I'm actually putting, the receiver into transmission and transmission into receiver, if I'm not fucking up the polarization. But even recently, with the photo I posted in the Discord, this was basically a 40-kilometer 100 gig transceiver, and we were running into some crazy issues with that, which turned out to be just someone fucking up on a very, I would say, very basic level, which we just couldn't fathom that might be the case. But even though the signal was basically, let's say, visible on both ends, it still couldn't establish a connection, which confused the hell out of us because doing loopbacks locally, everything worked, right? And only when we doing the connection on the whole, let's say, way, then it was breaking. But it's sometimes very surprising because I don't think, I mean, if you go into specialized training, I think that especially I wasn't very, let's say, well schooled about fiber when I was doing my networking degree. Don't know why, but there are so many things about fiber that if somebody doesn't tell you, are not obvious. As with, I'm not sure how to say it in English, I want to say silencers. but those are definitely not silencers for fiber if you want to, let's say, dampen signal dampeners, I think. That those things exist, and you can basically dampen your signal if you don't want to use, let's say, 50 kilometers or 500 meters of fiber to have a safe measurement and don't destroy your equipment. What can I do? I can do some world quests. Okay, I have nothing in here, but that's probably because I need to grab the daily first. I am so irregular with the streams. It's so weird, but you know, on the other hand, with Data Center Wednesdays, I was pretty much sure that, you know, the Wednesday will be, at least throughout the summer holiday, summer vacation, my dedicated day where I can, you know, in simple words, slack off and stream and just do whatever, at least in the mornings, when everybody just, you know, gets their coffee, etc. And then Wednesdays became, you know, the designated day for meetings, doing some miscellaneous remote work, driving to network hubs to cross some connections, etc. Which kinda sucks. I do hope that after the summer vacation I will get my Data Center Wednesdays back. Oh, is it above? I think that I am, yeah. Okay, it's not really above, it was right here all this time. Okay.
Interested in the unusual? Do return again.
By the way, if I remember correctly, you're into, Albert, you're into audio video business. Could you have you had any experience with thanks for the follow. Have you had any experience with Blackmagic 6K camera, if you're still here? Yeah, I need to make this up and this up and this up. Ah, shit. Okay, that explains a lot. Yep, that explains it. Okay, I need to quickly fix one thing. Because I would really like to see the notifications. Okay, not this. Yep. So we're going to save this to off. Yes, perfect. So now I can just have this up. And if we want some sort of background for our stream, okay. This is it. Let's just move it to the very bottom. Okay, we're good. Yeah, definitely the Racing World quest. It's always my go-to to do some mindless task. I still haven't done my campaign. Truth to be told, I am frankly surprised how the latest video, how well it has done, how well it performed. I really imagined it as, you know, just some filler episode, but it has outdone anything I've done in the past half a year. Even though the effort that was put into that was, I want to say, 10 times less, which is kind of sad. But I think I was basically fucking up the YouTube miniature game. Fuck. Okay, let me restart. It's sometimes irritating that, you know, you can basically fuck it up with a Medicore miniature. Because if you're like a big YouTuber, then, you know, you are always guaranteed to have some sort of reach and visibility. But if you're like starting out and, you know, your audience is small, your subscriber base is small, then you cannot like rely on the views or initial clicks from just the brand recognition, let's call it, alone. You can only rely on the miniature being, you know, eye-catching and attention-grabbing. Which I think happened here. I mean, I think even YouTube was like, in one of its menus, that, you know, this video is performing exceptionally well, click here to learn why. And it showed me like my previous videos miniatures, like in a grid of 3x3 with the latest one in the center. And, you know, after I saw that, then yeah, definitely this miniature is better than I think anything else I've done previously. The reward is shit. What's my worst item? The weapon. The weapon is shit. But overall, I am also like, you know, very, very thankful for all the comments I've gotten on the latest vid. Because like I said, I imagined that to be mostly filler. And, you know, some people found some, let's say, valuable information in it. It's not like that. It's not like I'm, you know, set on producing crap. I just tried to like have some upload schedule. But aside from that, you know, there is a lot of take, I feel like, that's not being... with some YouTubers, I mean, I want to say a lot of YouTubers, that they really lack some professional look at the things, which I think is like mostly visible currently with the craze for SSD and NVMe NASs. Like some companies develop some products, and that's okay, I guess. But from what I saw, I think that, you know, especially with the I think the small 4 NVMe sized NAS that's running on Unraid, the main issue is, and I don't see it being raised anywhere, is why isn't anybody talking about the fact that if you are using traditional RAID on NVMe SSD based storage, you are basically risking all of your data all of your disks dying on you all at once. Because if you have like, let's say traditional RAID, and I think it doesn't matter whether it's like RAID 1, 4, I mean 1, 5, 6 or 10, and for that matter any other RAID, all of the drives are getting the same amount of writes equally. It's not like there is like some sort of balancing implemented. If there is, if let's say MD write is aware of that, or hardware write is, sorry, then I've basically haven't like read up on that anywhere, or nobody has like made the news with that. Which I think that, you know, especially in a case of raids of, you know, if you are building a NAS not to just have a quick and temporary access to files, you know, or if you are actually planning some long-term storage with your NAS, then for me it's baffling that nobody is touching that subject. Because, you know, I know that, you know, there aren't many, there actually aren't, I think, any solutions that could, you know, allow you to configure a RAID and, you know, not use the traditional RAIDs to aggregate data, aggregate your storage drives. I mean, there is Ceph, right? Obviously. I think Ceph, I'm not sure if it can do that by default, but I am pretty sure if you configure it and tweak it, then you could do that. Or even in some very homemade way of just, you know, pulling out the disks or just inserting the disks as the time goes. And I've definitely see some vendors, if you are like being sold an NVMe SSD array that costs, I don't know, 20, 40, 50,000 US dollars with drives included, then they do know about that. They do have solutions in place. You know, you can always configure or your drives in traditional RAID capacity, traditional RAID aggregation, or you can do, I often see it called in a way of pool aggregation of pool drives are like being aggregated into a pool from which you configure your volume groups. I mean, I don't want to say volume groups, your shares, instead of, you know, aggregating them into a RAID group that's very stiff and very static. Okay, enough of my yapping. Let's do some WoW content. But yeah, I mean, I've even like looked for the, you know, for some sort of like keywords, like is SSD and NVMe NAS good, or I think I was like even a bit more specific. I think I've searched drive SSD NVMe NAS drive where, and I'm not sure if it was like YouTube being very specific, because I know that YouTube search sucks, because they basically show you only like, I don't know, 5 results, and then they just go on and recommend you whatever unrelated to your search or very, very loosely related. So that may be that, but, you know, I haven't come across any sort of materials on that. And, you know, obviously that sounds like I've struck a gold mine and can do that one myself. But like I said, like having to worry this much about video miniature and title kinda scares me. Because you can really put a month into a video, a month of staying up later at work, and then you can only have it like, you know, hit 200 views just because. which isn't like bad in itself, because you know I can handle that. I can handle that if you know, if the video is actually bad, not interesting, or if I fucked up everything. But you know, it's a bit sad if you know, if a video you've spent 8 hours does 10 times better than the video you've spent 100 hours on. But I know those are the growing pains, and we will handle all that, no problem. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. You're like throwing me shit, Bran. You know, on the other note, I am so disappointed in Blizzard, the way they've tackled Classic. I mean, at this point, I'm asking myself, what was the point? Like, why does it matter?
Let's have a quick sit down to recover.
I don't really like that they auto-progress the expansions. I think it's terrible. Oh my, some lovely bot tot. Oh my, sorry, I am such a boomer at this. How do I block messages or ban people? Actually, that's something I think I've never configured on Twitch. That might be my issue, is that the chat should be only for followers. Yep. Sorry that it had to be done, but chat is only for followers now. On Twitch. I think on YouTube you have to be subscribed.
Those webs will summon Rubians. Don't stand in them.
Okay, so I think this is just a bad minimap design. By the way, yes. Ah, shit. This is what I've been reading about. But I'll close it for now. Okay, wait. So, wait. How could I get the zone map? Okay. Let's try it. Let's try that.
Well, maybe usually let's get that nasty off you.
I'm out of range.
Oh, it's not even all that powerful of an AoE attack.
I don't have a target.
Well, hang in there. Don't stand there.
I need to target something first.
I also was thinking about making a video about gaming on Linux. Because it actually seems to be getting quite interesting. And, you know, actually quite, let's say, efficient. Like, there are games where you are getting better performance on or Linux, and if you're like playing a certain subset of games, you are getting either better or same as Windows. But what I wanted to check out was how easy is that to launch games on Linux? Is it like whole wine kerfuffle thingy where you have to, you know, sometimes have a wine manager? Basically, you need to have a different virtual environments of wine to launch certain games most efficiently. And I hope it's not like that. There have been talks about the Valve thingies and Protons, etc. And I'm interested in how accessible they are. Because I've seen the level 1 text videos. And one thing I've either missed, because maybe I was watching or listening to them when I was driving, was because I don't think there's a Linux binary. I mean, knowing CD Projekt, they might be. But you know, just in general, like, what is your test bench? How you actually are launching those different games? I mean, some games, especially on GOG, are kind enough to basically supply their own, you know, installer on for Linux and basically runtime environment. The sad thing is that they are most often described as compatible with Ubuntu 18, which is ancient at this point. But that may be more of a Linux issue, the whole distros thingy, which I really think is is one of the pitfalls of Linux. Being susceptible to so many distributions and their release schedules and the way they are updated. I also don't think that rolling release is the answer to everything. It's most likely, you know, the issue of, you know, comparing Linux to Windows. You have Windows, let's say 11 or 10, let's say 10. It has its run for, let's say 8 to 10 years. During that, you know, you are compatible with everything, with almost everything. You know, everything is backwards compatible. You can run Windows XP programs no problem on Windows 10. And then after that time, Windows 11 comes along. And, you know, if you are upgrading from 10 to 11, very rarely, or I think none at all, you are thinking whether, I don't know, my games will even start. You might be worried that, you know, they may lose or gain some performance, but it's not like, oh shit, half of my Steam library might not, you know, run at all. That's never the issue. And I think that's so great about Windows. And with Linux, it's totally opposite. So I definitely think that until Linux will sort that out, it will basically never be a desktop operating system. FreeBSD might have a way better chance at that due to its, you know, release and philosophy when it comes to system components. But, you know, I'm not sure if FreeBSD even has a graphical user interfaces. I mean, I think it, I mean, definitely it has to have those, but if Linux isn't popular, then FreeBSD is definitely less popular. Even if many people may use it all the time without even knowing. Like on game consoles. Did you know that your PS5 is running FreeBSD? I think. I think also Netflix has had some comments and talks about using FreeBSD because it basically has better network stack, better implemented.
What have we here? Nice find!
Okay, this is a very weird mini dungeon. I'm not sure how Blizzard officially calls those instances. There are very Torghast like, but I do actually find it interesting that they are not just the same but different map. They do have their own quirks and map designs and philosophies. Like not everything has to be a dungeon that you basically run start to finish.
I don't have a target. I need a target. I need to target something first.
Oh yeah, after I defeat this guy, I have an interesting thing I've discovered today to comment on. And it's actually about the thing I'm drinking.
I don't have a target.
They'll never be using that move.
Okay, so basically, uh, some time ago I started like just trying out some flavored water, flavored sparkling waters. And you know, especially during summertime, having some sort of citrusy flavored water like tangerine, lemon, whatever, right? Some waters like that. It's pretty cool and refreshing. And this is the one time I haven't checked the nutrition values on a product, because I typically do that. You know, how many sugar is in the 100 grams or 100 milliliters of something. And today during shopping, my girlfriend basically said, you know, those have 25 grams of sugar per portion. And I was like, you're fucking with me. And she's like, no, check it for yourself. And the Pellegrino ones do have 25 grams of sugar per, you know, per overall, not per 100 milliliters, but overall. This one has half, I think, overall, but that's still a shitload. And I think this is the last day you'll see me drinking those. Which is sad, because I quite enjoyed them. And they weren't that sweet at all. This is why that got me very, very confused and caught me by surprise. Shit.
What can I do for you? Be careful.
I need a target.
So weird when you're, you know, under-equipped at the start of the new expansion. Yeah, definitely this. At this point, I'm just going for the item level. I don't even want to, you know, bother myself with reading what stats are the best for Red Paladin at the moment.
It's not ready yet.
I do have to say that playing in the way of min-maxing, of actually min-maxing in WoW has, you know, got me really tired. And even the last expansion, when I thought that it's pretty good, I still like couldn't do anything other than looking for raid. It's not like I was Mythic Raider, because I did have raided Mythic, but I don't think with any guild I've been with, as a tank or as a DPS that we've ever managed to go through more than half of the bosses on Mythic. So I don't really call myself a Mythic Raider, definitely not a Mythic Raider. But I did, you know, put some time and effort into preparing for Mythic raids.
Your particular set of talents are required here. Undermine the Kahedi forces in this area, lest they crush the Arathi too quickly.
Okay, let's have this regenerate for a bit. I do need to maybe go through my mount collection and unfavorite some. Because even though they are cool as fuck, I don't like the fact that they are just ginormously big. And it actually is always like giving me trouble when I just want to fly into the doors or fly into a building. I don't know why they are making this so small. This probably has to cost them in computational power to calculate whether you are on a mount and that they have to dismount you. Oops. Yep. Okay, so it's like a competitive with other players. That sucks. I think there have been many things in this expansion that are centered about, let's say, player retaining the player within game and make him spend as much time as possible. I mean, small things like, you know, basically having really low spawn rates in world quests, which is irritating if there's like a shitload of people at the start of the expansions and everybody is doing those. Or things like this, where, you know, it's basically competitive free for all.
Stalemates are never accidental. They require just the right amount of pressure on a thread.
Yeah, you know what? I think instead of doing the world quests, I might do some quests also, because I actually I'm interested in doing them. But I do need to do world quests to finish up the daily Hand of the Vizier. I might also queue myself for the heroic dungeon. You know, considering how I actually WoW, it might be a fun idea to see how WoW fares on an Arch Linux. Or in Linux in general. I think that might be an interesting video idea. It's not very professional, but I think it might be fun. I've recently had a talk with a colleague where I basically told him my plans for the next video. And, you know, I basically was like, okay, I'm gonna do it about this and that, but the main thing about it will be that I am painting something. And then I'm using that, you know, as a thing. And I'm focusing on, you know, more of the artistic thing rather than being only technical. That there is some sort of, you know, flair that non-technical people can follow. And I think he was like very disappointed by that. But you know, I think that unless you make it enjoyable and at least a bit entertaining, then you know, what's the point of making technical videos? Just let Cisco, Juniper, and technical vendors do them. Jesus, why? I mean, this location feels totally like Suramar. But you know, without the ability to... without the ability to cloak, it sucks a bit. And I don't know if I missed something or is it supposed to be like that?
Information has always been an exquisite currency in Ashkahet.
I really enjoy the Nerubians that they are finally getting some sort of, you know, time and the expansion dedicated only to them, and which I think was a bit of a time wasted, or maybe not wasted, just not realized during the Wrath of the Lich King.
Intruders and protects Rakuja's threadling eggs. Go harvest some before I decide.
But I am a bit confused as of... because, you know, everything needs to have shades of grey in WoW, especially recently. And at the moment I am a bit confused on how this worked when, you know, the original Lich King had the spiders' help, the Nerubians' help. Because they didn't really seem to be, you know, under the control of anything, they were just on his side.
I need to target something first.
Okay, I just wanted to have especially Twitch messages disappear after a while. They tend to be spammy from what I've seen.
It's too far away. I need a target. I don't have a target. I need to target something first.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. This is what happens when you're not reading the the world quest's objective.
I need to get closer.
Why has it disappeared? Just because I'm in combat? Why? Oh, you fucker. Why are you like this? Jeez.
I'm out of range. I don't have a target. I need to get closer.
You know, I think that this competitiveness in world quests in general, would be more acceptable if they weren't such a so easy to get through, to steamroll through. You know, more of like they were in classic. You know, because if anyone can just melt a mob, a quest mob in 2 seconds, and the spawn rate isn't like, you know, crazy high.
I don't have a target.
Fine work for an over.
Thank fuck. Oh, done. And we are still looking a group for... we are still looking for a group for a random heroic dungeon.
I need a target.
One other funny thing is, I think the testament that shows how well the last video on my channel has done is the fact that I've even gotten my first sponsorship offer. Truth to be told, I don't think I'll take up on the offer. But, you know, it's a funny thing. It's a bit of a funny feeling when this thing happens. Okay, this is for dungeon and this is for dungeon. Okay. So I may as well just take them. Pum pum pum. Clumpy walks of shit. I probably need to go here. Yeah. Oh, speaking of the devil.
Speak freely. No directive needed.
Okay, I don't think I've done this one yet. Yeah, I am an old man, so I need my tank with a mark over their head.
Oi, can a dishonest barkeep make a living?
Shit. I'll just babble. It's the old Red Paladin switcheroo. Yeah, obviously immune to stun, because why not? Fuck your skills, fuck your mechanics.
I'm out of range.
It's to be a bar fight then. Good.
I need to target something first.
Goes down smooth.
Jesus, get him out of this shit stain.
Time for happy hour.
Another one! Another one!
Those mechanics are wild. I do have to say I really enjoyed the dungeon where you were basically running away in a mining cart and you had to do a sort of turret section.
It's too far away.
I would say that this finally starts to feel like they are getting creative with the dungeon's design. Because previously, especially after introducing the mythic keystones, they really felt like they are just, you know, maps with trash and bosses designed to be placed, and not with any sort of fun mechanics.
My zeal to get back in business led to faulty reasoning.
Your pal here signed some pretty conceited greed. And now Goldie Baronbottom is BEO of this joint.
Jesus, why don't you pull everything? Why stop there? Just keep going, man.
get closer.
Oh no, my stills! They bypassed the filters! It's running too hot! The mead will be substandard!
Yeah, but there'll be more of it. More mead, more money. That's good business.
Ugh. Cinderbrew was my personal directive, my passion! She's ruining everything!
I need a target.
Flavor scientist. You'll never find a secret. You'll never find a secret ingredient.
Elemental? Made of mead? Oh, my Cinderbrew! Nerubians are one thing, but I cannot process this.
What the fuck are you doing, my guy? I'm not sure those like tanks realize that, you know, if you try to make everything twice quicker, then it basically tends to take twice longer.
That mead elemental took months of R&D. You goody-goodies don't know who you're dealing with. You do any more damage, and I'll cash you out, you hear me?
No, so we now have lost the tank. Fuck that guy. No! My guy, you are literally doing the very same fucking thing.
I don't have a target.
I do have to say that, especially considering that I haven't been on this on this dungeon ever before, I do have to concentrate a bit on it. And especially since it's the early days of the expansion, where everyone is undergeared.
My bees! You put them in cages? They should be free gathering pollen in the forest.
We had to lock up your bees. Letting them be free range was too much labor. And their anger and frustration just makes their honey spicy.
Hey, thanks.
Right, Ben?
Thanks, Beckett. Glad to hear that. Currently, as I said before, sadly this dungeon preoccupies me a bit. I still go back and watch them. You mean the tutorials? Yeah, I think they quite hold up well. Because I did had to make some improvements on the GitHub. Those I could say are cosmetic. I think the one thing important that's changed is that by default now Secure Boot expects the keys to be in a different location. But it will basically give you an warning anyway if you're generating kernel and signing it. And I was a bit scared that Drakat might be getting dropped, but I basically read something wrong, and thankfully it's not.
I need to get closer.
I mean, I still remember that one guy on Reddit that told me, what's the point of making tutorials? They'll be outdated within a month or a year. And I think that, you know, a year has passed and no such thing is even like remotely close to happening. I do might make another video about installing Arch in a secure way. Just because people are either searching for something that has current year in title, or in general they search for something that's not too old, because they are afraid of that being not relevant by default. So I might do just that. Oh, fuck yeah, weapon. That's what I was here for. Are you thinking of making a follow-up or updated version? So, you know, like I said, truth to be told, I don't really think what I could update, you know, aside from those minor changes, which are, you know, really minor, and I think there's only one or two of them. It's even hard to, you know, come up with something that could be upgraded about those. Because even Sway works as it did, Waybar is you configure it as you were. As I mentioned in my latest video, most things just work. If you are like looking for more streamlined UI, then I also mentioned that in the UI video that, you know, just install GNOME. If you want to just, you know, work on Linux, then start with something that actually allows you to get your work done and you're not fucking around with a system, and, you know, work your way from there. Though recently, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, I've had this task that I was randomly doing. Basically, two coworkers asked me to add a printer on their laptops, and one coworker was using Mac, and the second one was using Fedora. And would you believe if I told you that adding a printer is easier on Mac than on a Fedora? I use Arch with WVM. Nice. I think I've tried it once, but I'm not sure I'm not sure why I basically haven't stuck with it, even just for the testing period. But going back to the printer story, it's quite interesting because because we basically in our organization we have a printer server, right? Printerwhatever.com or printers, which is run by cops. And on Mac, it was enough if I just said the when I wanted to add a printer, you know, basically it was behind VPN. So you know, just connect it to a VPN, and then, you know, URL of your printers, of your COP server, then slash and the queue name, which is basically a printer name, and it works. It doesn't ask you for anything else. But on Fedora, which I think was running in GNOME, I'm not sure it was GNOME, I'm pretty sure it was GNOME. It was, oh fucking shit, almost impossible, I would say. So on Fedora, if I wanted to add... Description, interesting. On Fedora, if I wanted to add printer, then if you are going through the GUI dialog and boxes and windows, then it basically allows you to type the... It does the auto search thingy when it tries to find the printers in your location. But if you give it the domain, the URL for your CAPS server, then yeah, it connects to it. It gives you all of the printers that are available on that server. You click on a printer you want to add. You click on the big blue button that says add printer, and then it says, fuck you, couldn't add printer. And there are no options of adding this thing manually. There are no options of doing this or enabling I am advanced user, allow me to specify maybe a bit more things by hand. It's just no, fuck you. And the way I've basically went around this is, you know, because basically Fedora also has CAPS client, then I just connected to localhost port 631, and then I added the printer that way. But, you know, it's way more headache, because if you're adding printer even on a remote server via CAPS web UI, then it asks you all sorts of useless dumb shit, like, you know, specify the driver, the PPS or PPD file, specify the printer exact model and name, you know, etc. It sucks. Like printing is such a shit stain on Linux, I would say. And Windows does it in an amazing way. But that's probably because, you know, it's baked into the system instead of being a totally third-party program that's, you know, dedicated to or designated to doing only that, and nobody pretty much cares. GNOME feels limited in terms of baked-in settings options. Can't really speak for that because I'm not using it. I do find that, you know, those... you know, because if you want to connect to, you know, VPN, etc., those tend to have a shitload of options. Because people might configure VPN servers, open VPN servers differently. They might configure authentication differently, maybe user password, maybe certificates, maybe both, you know, stuff like that. And I think that those user interfaces are not keeping up with the you know, the amount of options that are being configurable in those softwares, which I guess it's understandable. But on the other hand, if you have ready-to-go VPNs from Palo Alto, FortiGate, and, you know, NordVPN, probably, I haven't ever used it, they don't have Linux clients at all. But, you know, I think, you know, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think that the customization of Linux is the reason why it's so unpopular. Because very, very rarely there are just some sane user environments that are being developed, because there's like 1,000 of them. and the manpower is spread across all of them. And some have the same sins as Windows has, which is basically being very fucking heavy on a system and using a lot of your CPU and memory. But if I remember correctly, GNOME wasn't really as bad on that as I thought it might be, because it used less than gig of RAM, and it basically had everything ready out of the box. You know, and if you want to tweak your things, then, you know, have fun, have a fun week, or maybe, you know, maybe a day or two. But even then, your setup might be a bit lacking. Because if it's like a matter of just installing a package, then yeah, sure, most people can probably do that and feel proud about them. But if you have two pieces of a puzzle that don't really fit together unless you take a chisel and make them fit together, then I would say many people will get discouraged. I think I even mentioned it that, you know, with the XDG and MIME stuff, it's something that I live with and I don't really care, but I can imagine some people being really put off by that. Also, Windows has this one really secret thing that many people don't even realize exists, which is the local group policy objects or local group policies. You can basically fuck yourself and disable a control panel on your local Windows. Just not have it visible at all. GNOME 2 was great, after that everything changed. I would say, I mean, I am not really a big fan of saying that Linux user interfaces were ever great. I mean, I still really think that Linux is a server system. That's best on CLI and pure CLI only. I mean, the more you can do in CLI, the better in Linux. But you know, but if you're doing that, you know, the price of that is having not many people actually using it, because not everyone is a, you know, technician or IT or whatever. Though you know, on the other hand, you have some, but not really Unix systems that, you know, are still Unix and are doing quite well. Like have a Mac, for example. It's doing quite well and it's basically Unix. And from what I've seen, I really do like macOS interface. I mean, there are some key things that I would improve because they, I think, are too dumbed down, and you know, just are made with people that are completely tech illiterate, like completely, more in a way that Windows is. And I would change some things like that, but overall I would say that Mac interface is pretty simple yet pretty efficient. But I think that's just the case of, you know, a single team or a single product being developed over the course of many years. Where basically you are learning on, you know, on your experiences, and you're improving one thing instead of saying, fuck you, let me have my own user interface, completely starting from scratch and with completely different philosophy. Because for me personally, it's really weird. I really like the tiling managers like Sway or iFree. But when Windows introduced a similar feature of, you know, virtual desktops, that you can basically switch between workspaces, right? I've never started using that, and I think the main reason was I never also like spent too much time on it because I never really cared that much. But I really like my keybinds for that on Linux, on Sway. And those keybinds by default, I think, launched different things on my taskbar. So I never got into that on Windows. I mean, one other thing that I've also like thought about, but I never really conveyed in the Arch Linux video, I kind of focused more on the fact that web sucks, generally sucks. I mean, browsers not really. Browsers just, you know, try to keep up with whatever the web developers come up with. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that just in general, using laptops suck. And, you know, even though laptops are more powerful than 10 years ago, like definitely more powerful, they don't really feel better, like more responsive, more agile, more robust. They feel exactly as they were 10 years ago. I mean, at least I feel like that about my laptop. And, you know, one thing is that, as I mentioned in the video, the fact that, you know, web browsers are giant. If you look at your processes when you are launching Facebook or whatever, it's basically like running a game or like a full-fledged application. It's a shit ton of processes, and because those are applications that that many people are, you know, worried about data being stolen. They are sandboxed, secured, etc., etc. So not only a lot of computation goes into actually displaying the website and rendering it, a lot of it is also going into making sure that you cannot make dangerous website that steals information from your browser about your other websites you have opened. Which is, I guess, understandable, but if you don't make a complicated system like that in the first place, of basically, you know, supporting runtime scripts in web browsers or in web in general, then maybe we wouldn't be having this problem at all in the first place. That's not really a thing for I think if I even make a video on that, it won't be like my next one or the one after that. Maybe later during the album. But I really wanted to make a video about taking back the web, because I know that in some areas the fiber connections are quite good. And the ISPs are basically giving people free IPv6 subnets, public subnets. And so, you know, personally, I've been using that and I love it. You can just, you know, configure your home lab, your PC or whatever to be a proper web server, and you don't have to fuck around with NATs and port forwarding, which is nice. That is changed for, you know, fucking around with firewall on your router or on your ISP's router. But typically, if they give you IPv6 subnet and stuff like that, then they also allow you to configure your firewall on your own. And if you have that, And if you have a domain, then what's stopping you from making a website? And you know, here's the thing. Wait. Here's the thing. Not any website. A static website. What was it called? The shit. Fuck. You know, the static website generators like Hugo or something like that. They give you like a really, if you configure it well and use template and whatever, then they basically give you a very simple website that's it's mostly HTML, it's mostly CSS, and it has a little bit of JS if you really want it to. But it's statically generated. It's basically being sent to you as a single package. And you don't have to wait on, you know, some things happening on the server or the server generating some sort of content only for you, right? Which I know it means it just cannot dominate the internet, the web space. But if you like have your own IPv6 public addresses, your own small server or something like that, your own domain, and you have a static website generator, then you can no problem make your very own personal website that's, you know, either local to your community, to your town, to your business, you know, fun, silly thing like that. And I think that this would make internet more fun. Like if we had many people like doing some sort of silly little websites, like literally things like, here's a website dedicated to my cat, instead of, you know, its Instagram page. And I know it might not be enticing to some people because, you know, how do you make money of that, or how do you get traffic or word out? But that's the local aspect that really entices me, that those like will make the internet as fun as it was 20 years ago, where it was full of silly little websites like that about small things people were passionate about. And not only that, you are also like making the web again about the content and not about the framework or, you know, technology of the day. But that video really needs to be well thought out, because it's not really a tutorial about showing people how to use Hugo or the static website generators. It's about igniting the spark of inspiration so that people will go out and make those websites. I mean, at least the people that can do that.
Someone didn't get the message. These are earthen resources. We need you to mount a defense.
Oh, we just made it. It just finished turning violet. Okay, I think I might do just like a 2 or 3 more world quests, and then I might go and do some story quests.
For the Arathi to survive, we must settle in lands shadowed from Beladar's light.
But before that,
The darkness strikes out with threats not
let me do a quick be right back. I'll be with you in a minute. Oh, and I'm back. I was deciding whether I want to grab something to drink, and I basically ate an orange.
The harvesters work the land with the strength of 10 Arathi, yet the shadow corrupts even our
I
machine.
still don't get how this event in Hallowfall works,
Area for salvageable parts.
or those
Azeroth.
world quests.
It's too
But I guess it will become clear with time. I mean, this one is wild. How are you supposed to get those if you don't have a mount? And even with a mount, some sort of special skill. And he's gone, and I need only one. Fucker.
We burn brightly together. Beladar shine on you.
I need to get closer.
Unauthorized user.
It's funny how you know, with Shadowlands I was like, Jesus, WoW is dead, and you know, Final Fantasy has so many good features and things. And now I'm completely the opposite. Especially since I'm not really playing Final Fantasy. I think I mean the main story quest in Final Fantasy is just terrible. For me at least. But my girlfriend really enjoys it, and I basically see over her shoulder how things are going. And it's amazing how within pretty much single expansion, but you know, 2 expansions, like this one, including this one also, WoW managed to introduce so many new things and basically turn tables around. And Final Fantasy is still plagued by some problems the same problems that are basically scaring people away, and I think have been scaring people away for the past years, right? I mean, the main story quest is just so terrible in Final Fantasy 14 online, not in all Final Fantasy games.
Initializing reaping servos.
You know, this was supposed to be an Arch Linux latest video, Q&A, whatever, right? Data center, etc. But I always go on tangent about video games, lore, accurateness, things like that. Can't wait for the Space Marine 2 actually. Space Marine 2 and Frostpunk 2. Those are 2 things I am really enjoying to see and hoping to enjoy.
I don't have a target.
There is always hope if we choose to look for it.
I hate when they are reusing the art, because this used to be an icon for intelligence flask for raids in Battle for Azeroth. Sorry, Battle for Azeroth. And now it's just some sort crafting reagent. Oh no, they gave me a Tenatus that...
I need to target something first.
I need to go all out, just this once, master. Firelight Spud. Does this mean that you can only pick your potatoes when the light's on? Okay, and what am I supposed to do with that? Okay.
I need a target.
To maintain the key flame requires amassing a reserve of radiant remnants. Search the
Okay,
air
where were the lesser key flames?
or take them from monstrous clutches.
Okay, so basically doing this allows you to pick up some dailies.
Stay in the light. Belladar shine on you. Don't
Do I have anything to exchange? No, this is trash, trash, trash. It's trash. Garbage. Okay, but I think I would much rather just finish
With uncorrupted
those lesser keyflames first.
these fields and feed the towns of Hallowfall.
We are the seekers of light. Always be prepared. Stay alert. When the star shifts, seek shelter.
Okay, and one last lesser keyflame. Keystone, whatever. Oh, there it is.
The lashrooms choke the life out of crops and farmhands alike. Parasites to the Arathi in every sense. You may not share our faith, but your valor is a...
Oh yeah, I was waiting for you. Okay.
Have you seen any spooky stuff? I can hide in the dark.
Okay. Oh, he's such a cutie. Yeah, player retention. This does feel really slow and sluggish. How am I supposed to pick cabbage? Maybe I'm in a completely wrong area. I think I am.
Aj-Kahet is at war with us on both battlefield and farm. Their saboteurs taint and corrupt our fields.
So weird. I mean, some of those world quests might need more explanation. Okay, so those guys are called cards? Okay. Okay, I get it. Oh, fuck you. Oh, are you a little guy? Why 12? Why so many of them? I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Because this is so slow. Yeah. I think I was supposed to just jump around those patches of ground.
Grown-ups say, be careful in the dark.
Grown-ups say be careful in the dark. It's like somebody pretending to make a funny British accent. Like making fun of it. I mean, I'll light you up, but I don't really want to make your quest now. I'll just deal with what I have on my plate already. No, fuck off. I'm not saying anything, but Ashes of Alar should really be shining bright. And you shouldn't need any sort of torch. Here, have your recruits.
Sacred flame guide your way, friend.
Take them.
Good day to you. The tide waits.
Okay, I might take up your one.
What was lost, I have found.
Oh, so those are just overall bonus objective, the fungal guys.
I need to target something first. It's too far away.
Yeah, Boomkins just doing Starfall.
I don't have a target. I'm out of range.
Okay, oh, almost done. Yeah, it's way easier if you don't have to do that in that shitty little form.
With the lash rooms driven
I
back,
need to
our
target
farms can
something
heal from their blight. Your courage brings hope to these shadowed lands.
Oh, my courage brings hope. I'm so flustered right now when he said that.
To maintain the key flame requires amassing a reserve of radiant remnants. Search the area. Gather the remnants from the land. Or
Okay, what are we gathering? Sugar, spice and everything nice? Or just some sugar and yeast? Okay, remnant satchels collected.
I need a target.
It's also funny that in this expansion they don't really want to use Azerite. They do say at one point that this thing resembles Azerite and feels like Azerite, but it's totally not Azerite. It's super similar though, which I think is quite funny. Just say it's Azerite and be done with it.
waterways have always been dangerous in Hallowfall. Fierce predators of the undersea.
Yeah, okay, I know.
On the fisher folk. Keep them clear.
Investigate location, learn nothing. Okay, I might close this one for now. Oh shit. This is actually quite a good mechanic to prevent, you know, people to just jump on the mountain and fly away. Like without thinking. Ugh. What am I supposed to do here? What the fuck do you mean by frog-kissed caviar? What do you mean?
It's too far away.
Like moths to a flame.
At expedition prices. The finest goods underground.
Finest goods underground.
I would have more stock, but Cobus killed my supplier.
I would have more stuff, but something killed my supplier, okay? So many fishing spots. Yeah, oh, okay. I really like the dailies that, you know, have gimmick. And you can, like, complete them in a reasonable amount of time and then, you know, just like easy stuff without just clicking, placing, stuff like that. Just like with my systems, I like my systems and application provisioned easily. Because if I have to install your thing and then read through 1,000 lines of config in order to just have some sort of basic setup being run, or it just running a little bit, then fuck you. Oh my, what the fuck is that? I want to kill it. Yep.
I'm out of range.
The sacred flame is for everyone.
The Emperor rewards the faithful.
What the fuck is with them and the Emperor? It kind of feels like Blizzard wants to take piss on Warhammer 40k.
I'm out of range.
They really nerfed Paladin self-healing even with the Word of Glory. It's such a I mean, I don't like this change. I mean, make it cost more and, you know, make it usable less frequently, but in PvE, it feels like I have no alternative to lay on hands. Sorry. It is getting quite late and I may be a bit tired and sleepy, but this is one of the very few chances when I can stream for a bit longer without being interrupted, where I can have, you know, just some well-planned leisure time without being afraid that somebody will call me to do something. And I also wanted to check how does it work with streaming over longer periods of time. And by that I mean, does YouTube push your stream to more people as the time goes on? Does it only start pushing after an hour or two? Because I mean Twitch is fucked. By streaming in World of Warcraft category, I'm basically cooked at the moment. Completely. Oh, what the fuck is that? Just some random thingy. But on YouTube, everything is a bit different. And truth to be told, I am a bit more interested in doing everything on YouTube, streaming included, because, you know, on Twitch only the biggest creators have anything. Like, Twitch is the true representation of like 1% having everything.
Outsiders are a welcome surprise. We burn brightly together.
I also think it would be a bit more interesting if Twitch just allowed you to set your stream miniature, because at this point everything is so blended and relies only on people making some sort of wild OBS presentations that pop out when some peeps are scrolling through you know, the listings of people streaming.
It's too far away. I need to get closer.
Oh shit. Why is this such a real life problem to have in a video game? If you are short, if you are below average when it comes to height, you can't. If you've made a gnome or a dwarf, then tough luck. This world quest isn't for you. I mean, it should require you to collect everyone that's available for collecting, and then have this single one just being out of your reach. Eliminate 2 rare creatures. Okay, I don't want to do yellow quests without reading them.
Take a look while you can. Enjoy.
Sweet Eclipse Donut. No! Shit. Oh, by the way, I forgot that I have a completely wrong transmog on my character. There is a piece of transmog that's been with me ever since the ever since the Draenor expansion. Here it is. Always. Always the laughing skull mask.
Farewell, friend of the Grummles.
That one piece of transmog that I keep every time. Every set. Maybe not on every character, but I do have a weak spot for my paladin that's been with me ever since I started playing retail WoW, which was, I think, in an early to late days of... no. I think I started playing like before Cataclysm was a thing. So I basically had a battle chest and I played it through Classic, through Burning Crusade, up to Lich King, but I didn't have money or the Lich King expansion. And I, as a kid, completely didn't understood how everything works. So I was just thinking that, you know, I can just play expansions as they go. I don't have to have the current one. But that's on me. That's on me being a kid. And just being raised in a remote village with very little to no internet and access and money access. It happens. I'll make that up now when I'm old and tired.
Military-grade goods at civilian prices.
Glow in the dark. Are we looking for FBI? For glowies? I do think that, you know, it's so cheap when they tell you to kill 2 rare enemies after you've been clearing the quests for the past hour. Oh, I've heard. Yep. How many am I missing? 1. Priory of the Sacred Flame. Probably here. Yep. Okay, we might as well just go ahead and grab that one.
Drive them from our shore back to their abyssal home.
Yeah, I see it. It's mine. Hooray! I mean, I think it's fine that, first of all, the Blizzard hasn't abandoned the, you know, the mount gliding mechanic, and the fact that they didn't try to build upon it instantly in the next expansion. I don't really need more than I have at the moment, and I don't want to lose all of that. Which I think is fine, and I think that Blizzard has been feeling for way too long that, you know, everything needs to change every expansion. Oh, okay. This is an upgrade for me. By the way, recently I've had my one single issue with my Arch Linux setup, which turned out not to be Arch Linux issue at all. I basically couldn't boot my laptop. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's easy. Maybe something got fucked during the kernel packaging for the unified kernel image. But it turned out that in most cases it's the UEFI on the motherboards that's completely retarded and, you know, stupid. Because you might tell it to run a specific binary, but then it will most often either forget that or ignore that randomly. And I was having one thing installed in my system, but I also had the old unified kernel image package, which for some reason didn't want to work with the current system, and that was the reason why I basically couldn't boot. And I thought that, you know, that Dracot is fucked, maybe something is missing, stuff like that. I was in my mind I was already making the second updated Arch Linux tutorial because, you know, something might have happened to the process, but thankfully it was just me being stupid and blind. Sorry again. You know, truth to be told, today I'm playing games because I really needed some time off. But I think I'll go back to my idea of streaming the GNS network simulation, because I do have to model a network for this year's supercomputing conference, and I'm pretty sure that this year the network itself is quite simple to the point where a single man or woman can do that. If they're like our experienced network engineers, then within a day or two, but I think that I might do it within a week, considering that it's also multi-vendor. Maybe longer than a week, but I was really thinking of doing that on stream.
My people are fighting against a never-ending tide. Courage can falter, but it never disappears.
I hate that this girl that was just speaking is a Lothar. Everybody has to be a descendant or relative of somebody famous.
It's too far away.
You carry your torch, you light the city. May the
Interesting. I thought that with this torch only enemies and quest items might show up within the light, but it seems like, you know, mining things and other profession stuff is also showing up.
I need to target something first.
Shit, I've almost interrupted the stream. I've almost rebooted my server from my home lab that's retransmitting everything to both Twitch and YouTube. I was like, huh, that's weird. I've upgraded everything, but I haven't rebooted that.
My goods are the pride of the Empire. Stock up for next curfew.
Okay, those two rare creatures. Fuck this. It will irritate me if I don't cancel it. Oh yeah, just this one last quest. I need the field with the... Oh yeah, a rare. Just as I cancelled the quest. Lovely. And another one. Fuck you, Blizzard. I'll just kill this for the reputation items that it will probably drop.
I don't have a target.
Okay, where was this field patch where I could do the Tater Troll? It definitely needed to have a those harvest bots, and B, the torches that could be lit.
Kahet is at war with us on both battlefield and farm. Their
Where the
saboteurs
fuck
failed
was
to
that?
corrupt our fields.
Especially since I don't really want to drop quest that's pretty much almost done. I'm not sure why I haven't finished it while I was doing it.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Shit. Maybe attacking 4 of the golden ones at once is not such a good idea. Where the fuck are the potatoes? If it just showed me where I've gotten this quest from, or from who. Or that little keyframe thingy has gone out. And it's basically a soft fail for the quest. Am I like also not going somewhere? Am I forgetting some place? I mean, it had to be here. Yep. I've gotten the quest from you. Ah, you just have to stand in here for a while. Okay.
In hardship, kindness. Find
Okay, let's go to the surface for now. Where was the fly path? Here. Okay, first here and then to the surface. Oh, thanks this hunter for the follow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If I may ask, if anybody from Twitch is still here, are you following for the Linux content that I typically do, or are you for the WoW thing? For the World of Warcraft content that's currently going on? Because I am genuinely curious. Okay, now to the surface, let's do some story content, and I guess in half an hour I'll be closing the shop for today. I was wondering whether should I play my summer car, mainly because two things have happened. First, Marty Pence finally has finished his over 6,000 kilometers drive. Second, I've actually ordered a shirt from him on that occasion, so I think I might just wear that if I want to play my summer car. But lastly, I do have the car already built. I've had since I think last year, and the only thing that's preventing me from playing it a bit is that the the front right wheel is damaged to the point. I mean, I've just built the car basically. I've made it like start. It's it fires up. It's running, and I've basically haven't driven it yet. But that's because if I like drive 100 meters in that car, it's the front right wheel is in such a bad state that it always fails. It's flat after just like 100 meters or so every single time. It's just that I gotten bad RNG when starting a new game on those tires endurance, because I think those were the tires that I've gotten from the abandoned house. And what I need to do is to actually buy some new tires from Fleetari. And for that, I think that I either need more money, or it's just the fact, or it's just that I've basically had my game saved at a very inconvenient time of a day and day of a week, so I just cannot go there and buy those tires because it's either after working hours by the time I get to him, or it's weekend. But you know, if it's for a stream where I can chat, then I might as well just play my summer car and either pick up strawberries or chop some wood.
And help eliminate the pests that burden them.
Hi. Streamviewers.org, blah blah blah, real viewers. Oh my god, you know what? I haven't, and I am so interested in having bots watch my streams. Can you give me more details, please? Please give me more details. I am really into that shit. Do you remember when I told you that I am really excited to have you followed? Well, now you're banned. I mean, it's also interesting with those spams that they pretty much have accounts that they've been sitting on for 2 years or so. Just so that they are not immediately banned. It's also funny how they are just purely focused on Twitch. Oh shit, I didn't want you to.
I need a target.
Where am I supposed to go with that? No!
I need to target something first.
How many points did it give me? Almost nothing. Damn, that sucks. And I also think something is bugged.
I need to get closer. It's too far away. I don't have a target.
That was weird. I mean, I get it. This will probably be easier by the time your equipment gets stronger. So it might be fun to just see progression in that.
follow all edicts. Tend your own garden. Grow
Come again?
resuming tending cycle.
Pearlescent shell crab. Wait, what? I wanted to do a single story quest, but I don't think I'll be doing that today after all. Are there like even any crabs in here? Yeah, okay, whatever. Just one single story quest, please. Please let me just do it and don't let me be distracted by anything else. Oh. How many am I missing here? Quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, true tranquil.
Hold, Outlanders. This place is off limits to all but Stormward Baelgrim.
You didn't hear? Baelgrim. He's gone.
Yeah, that's a shame. That sucks. He's gone. Meanwhile, let me change my appearance.
Fly high, strike true. Honor the Titans. This Stormbrook has no bindings. It follows your directive still.
Follows is a strong word.
You knew Baelgrim, and you know the Stormrooks. Then you were a Stormrider. Cycles upon cycles ago. Yes. Other than enjoying the finer things, no, my curiosity ebbed when I found something dead in the main tower.
Okay. This clue mechanic is definitely interesting. It's not groundbreaking, but...
My directive is to protect the unbound.
The two shorter towers appear to have been armories. Could the conduit be stored there?
Task interrupted. Sorry, I have not seen it. And I walked all over this site. Except for the towers. Heights are not for me.
Okay, since we are here, let's go to the top. Yep, it's pretty much nothing as expected.
You think I can summon the storm rooks?
Affirmative.
You think that
Get you
I...
the conduit to the peak.
Conversation initiated. Conversation terminated.
Okay. I don't want to do more for now. So yeah, I think that will be all for today. It's not like I have a strict streaming schedule. I thought that I would be more consistent with Data Center Wednesdays, but as I expected at the as I explained it in the beginning, you know, that kind of got, you know, changed on me. But yeah, if you are here, thank you for watching, and subscribe to the YouTube if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the Twitch if you're on Twitch to, you know, catch me next time, because I might not, I'll probably not be playing games. I'll probably be doing something more tech related, either in the data center I work at, or, you know, just at home fiddling with some home lab, 3D printing, Raspberry Pi, whatever stuff. Okay, having said that, once again, thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!